At 41, Ben Napier from HGTV's beloved Hometown has finally addressed the swirling rumors that fans have been whispering about for months. The towering craftsman, known for his masterful woodworking and heartfelt renovations alongside his wife Erin, has become the center of speculation about his health, his future with the network, and the real story behind his dramatic physical transformation. As viewership of Hometown continues to climb, the questions have only grown louder. Is Ben leaving the show? Has his health journey been more complicated than we've been told? And what really happened during that concerning episode where fans noticed something wasn't quite right? Join us as we reveal what really happened and what it means for the future of one of Renovation Television's most authentic stars. The Mississippi morning sun filters through live oak branches, casting dappled shadows across the woodshop where a young Ben Napier first learned to transform raw lumber into something beautiful. Born in 1983 to a Methodist minister father and a mother who taught him the value of serving others, Ben grew up in small Mississippi towns where community wasn't just a word, it was a way of life. The humid southern air carried the scent of sawdust as his grandfather showed him how to respect the grain of the wood, how to listen to what each piece wanted to become. My dad and my grandfather taught me that anything worth doing is worth doing right, Ben has often recalled in interviews. The Napier household wasn't wealthy, but it was rich in tradition, faith, and the unshakable belief that treating people well mattered more than any material success. As the son of a preacher, Ben absorbed lessons about community building every Sunday, watching his father bring people together through shared purpose and mutual support. These formative experiences would later become the philosophical foundation for everything he would build, both literally and figuratively. The tall, soft-spoken boy with an eye for detail grew into a young man with a presence as solid as the hardwoods he would later craft into heirloom furniture. At the University of Mississippi, he studied history, developing a deep appreciation for preservation and the stories embedded in old buildings and antique craftsmanship. It was there, in a college yearbook room, that he first spotted Erin, a talented artist with a vision that would perfectly complement his own. Their connection was immediate and profound, a partnership that would eventually extend far beyond marriage into a shared professional mission to revitalize small-town America, one home at a time. What started in those humble Mississippi workshops would soon face the test of TV cameras and public scrutiny in ways the private craftsman could never have imagined. Ben and Erin's journey to television stardom wasn't the result of aggressive self-promotion or desperate audition tapes. Instead, it began with authenticity. Erin's thoughtful Instagram posts showcasing their lovingly restored 1925 Craftsman home in Laurel, Mississippi, caught the attention of an HGTV executive in 2014. The network saw something refreshingly genuine in the couple's approach to restoration and community revitalization. "We weren't looking to be on TV," Ben has reportedly said. "We were just trying to help our town." The couple was initially hesitant about stepping into the spotlight. Ben, who had been working as a youth minister while pursuing his woodworking craft on the side, worried about balancing public life with his natural inclination toward privacy. But the opportunity to showcase Laurel, a once thriving town that had fallen on harder times, proved too meaningful to pass up. In January 2016, Hometown premiered on HGTV. Viewers immediately connected with the 6'6" gentle giant who could transform reclaimed timbers into stunning statement pieces while discussing the historical significance of architectural details with genuine passion. Unlike some renovation shows that focus primarily on dramatic reveals, Ben brought a craftsman's patience and reverence to each project. The moment that truly announced Ben's unique presence on television came during the third episode of Season 1. As cameras rolled, he stood in a century-old home with exposed beams overhead, running his hand along a damaged mantelpiece. Instead of immediately suggesting a replacement, he paused, explaining to the homeowners how this piece had witnessed generations of family gatherings. The room fell silent as Ben proposed a restoration approach that would honor the home's history while making it functional for modern life. His genuine emotion was palpable. This wasn't just construction to him, it was conservation of stories. Viewers weren't just watching another home renovation show, they were witnessing a philosophy about place, history, and community. and Ben Napier, with his blend of physical strength and emotional intelligence, became an unexpected new type of television personality, one who could discuss the difference between mortise and tenon joinery in one breath, and the importance of creating gathering spaces for families in the next. What separates Ben Napier from many television personalities in the home renovation space is his legitimate expertise and daily dedication to his craft. Long before cameras started rolling and still during production breaks, Ben can be found in his woodshop covered in sawdust, perfecting techniques that take years to master. Woodworking at Ben's level isn't simply about following instructions. It's about understanding the living nature of the material itself. Each species of wood expands and contracts differently with humidity changes. Each tree's grain tells a unique story that influences how it should be cut, joined, and finished. When Ben selects reclaimed heart pine from a 19th century factory for a dining table, he's not just making an aesthetic choice, he's making a structural and historical decision. Wood moves, Ben often explains to homeowners on the show. A good craftsman works with that movement, not against it. The physical demands of the work are substantial. A typical mantelpiece might weigh hundreds of pounds, requiring both strength and precision to install. Hours of planing, sanding, and finishing are condensed into seconds on television, but the reality involves days of methodical labor. Ben has spoken about the toll this takes on his body, particularly given his size and the Mississippi heat that can make his workshop feel like a sauna during summer months. But here's where it gets complicated. What viewers see on Hometown represents only a fraction of the actual work. Television production schedules mean that some projects are partially completed before filming begins. Other pieces might be collaborations with Ben's workshop team, though he's always honest about which elements he personally crafts. The editing necessary for a 44-minute episode sometimes creates the impression that complex builds happen more quickly than they actually do. Despite these production realities, Ben's commitment to quality craftsmanship remains absolute. His woodshop, Scotsman Company, produces custom pieces that frequently have waiting lists extending months. Each item bears the hallmarks of traditional joinery techniques, dovetails, mortise and tenon, and floating panels that have largely disappeared from mass-produced furniture. What viewers connect with isn't just the beautiful finished products, but Ben's evident respect for materials that have history and character. In a throwaway culture, his work represents something enduring, furniture and architectural elements built to last generations, just as they did in centuries past. The internet has never been particularly kind to public figures, and Ben Napier is no exception. As Hometown grew from a modest HGTV offering to one of the network's flagship programs, the rumor mill began working overtime. Social media speculation, tabloid headlines, and fan forums have created a web of narratives that often diverge dramatically from reality. The most persistent rumors have clustered around 4 main areas: Ben's health journey, his commitment to the show, supposed behind-the-scenes tensions, and the authenticity of the renovations themselves. Ben's physical transformation has perhaps generated the most intense speculation. After losing a significant amount of weight, reportedly more than 100 pounds over several years, viewers began theorizing about possible health crises. Some claimed he had undergone bariatric surgery, while others suggested more serious conditions. In reality, according to Ben's own social media posts and interviews with People magazine, his weight loss journey began after the birth of his daughter Helen in 2018. "I needed to be healthy for my family," he has explained. The transformation came through gradual lifestyle changes, consistent exercise, and dietary adjustments, not through any dramatic medical intervention as many rumors suggested. A second cluster of rumors emerged in 2021 when Ben appeared visibly fatigued in several episodes. Fan forums lit up with speculation that he was preparing to leave the show, that he was suffering from exhaustion, or that tensions with the network were coming to a head. The timing coincided with the couple launching multiple spin-offs and product lines while raising young children, a workload that would strain anyone. According to sources close to production, the filming schedule had been particularly intense that season due to COVID-19 protocols requiring compressed shooting schedules. Now, if you're wondering about the supposed feud between the Napiers and other HGTV personalities, those rumors appear to be completely unfounded. Social media interactions between Ben and fellow network stars like Chip Gaines and Dave Mars show nothing but mutual respect. The competitive narrative seems to exist only in tabloid imagination, not in reality. Perhaps the most persistent rumors concern the authenticity of the renovations themselves. Some viewers have claimed that homeowners don't actually keep the furniture Ben creates, that budgets are misrepresented, or that much of the work happens off-camera with professional crews. While it's true that television production necessitates certain compromises, time constraints, scheduling challenges, and safety considerations all play a role, former homeowners have consistently confirmed that Ben's custom pieces remain centerpieces in their renovated homes. What can be confirmed with certainty is this: Ben Napier has indeed undergone a significant health transformation motivated by family concerns. The workload of multiple shows has at times been challenging, and while television production involves necessary compromises, the craftsmanship displayed is genuine. February 2022. A cold front had pushed through Mississippi, bringing unseasonable chill to Laurel as cameras prepared to roll for a particularly challenging hometown renovation. The 1890s Victorian had extensive water damage, requiring substantial structural intervention beyond the cosmetic updates typically featured on the show. Ben had been fighting what he later described as just a winter cold for weeks, pushing through the symptoms while maintaining the grueling production schedule. As the morning shoot began, something was noticeably different. Ben, usually animated when discussing architectural details, seemed subdued. His normally booming voice was quieter, and during a scene where he was demonstrating a restoration technique for original crown molding, viewers would later notice his hands trembling slightly. Midway through explaining the historical significance of the home's turret, he paused, seeming momentarily disoriented before Erin smoothly continued the explanation. What viewers didn't see was what happened when cameras stopped rolling. According to crew members who later spoke to local Mississippi press, Ben nearly collapsed after the scene, requiring a production break that extended from the planned 15 minutes to over 2 hours. The episode's director made quick adjustments to the shooting schedule, focusing on Erin's design elements while Ben recovered in the production trailer. It was scary. One production assistant reportedly shared, "He's such a strong presence on set. Seeing him vulnerable like that shook everyone up." The incident, while downplayed in official communications as a brief health concern, marked a turning point in how the Napiers approached their expanding television commitments. In the aftermath, production schedules were reportedly adjusted to allow more recovery time between shoots. Ben began bringing a personal trainer on location during extended filming periods, and the couple reportedly renegotiated certain aspects of their contract to protect their physical and mental health. Most significantly, this incident apparently prompted Ben to speak more openly about the physical demands of both his craftsmanship and the television schedule. In Instagram posts following that season, he began sharing more about his health journey, acknowledging both the progress and the challenges. What had been a private struggle became, by necessity, a more public conversation. And that's when everything changed. Rather than diminishing his standing with fans, Ben's vulnerability seemed to deepen their connection to him. Comments, sections filled with support, and similar stories of health struggles balanced with professional demands. The incident transformed not just how the show was produced, but how Ben engaged with his audience about the realities behind the picture-perfect renovations. Away from the cameras and the carefully staged renovation reveals, Ben Napier's life revolves around 3 core elements: family, faith, and community, values evident in both his public statements and private choices. Unlike many television personalities who leverage their fame into maximum exposure, Ben has consistently maintained boundaries that protect his family's privacy, particularly regarding his daughters, Helen and May. "We share about 80% of our lives," Ben has reportedly said in interviews. "The other 20% is just for us." This selective privacy extends to his daily routines, which remain remarkably consistent with his pre-fame life. According to friends interviewed in Southern Living, Ben still attends the same church where he once served as a youth minister, still begins most mornings in his workshop before dawn, and still makes time for Sunday dinners with extended family. These anchoring rituals provide stability amid the increasingly complex demands of multiple television productions, product lines, and public appearances. Ben's commitment to Laurel itself remains perhaps his most defining characteristic. Unlike some TV personalities who leverage their success into moves to entertainment hubs like New York or Los Angeles, the Napiers have doubled down on their investment in their hometown. Their restoration of Laurel's downtown continues well beyond what cameras capture, with Ben serving on preservation committees and often donating custom pieces for community fundraisers. Those who know him best describe a man whose generosity often happens when cameras aren't rolling. Local contractors have shared stories about Ben providing mentorship to young woodworkers, volunteering his expertise for community projects, and ensuring that his growing business employs local craftspeople at fair wages. His faith remains a quieter but foundational aspect of his identity. While never preachy on screen, Ben has acknowledged in print interviews that his Christian beliefs inform his approach to craftsmanship, community building, and family life. This spiritual dimension adds depth to his public persona without becoming its defining feature, a balance that reflects his thoughtful approach to living in the public eye while maintaining personal authenticity. Behind the seamless transformations and heartwarming reveals of Hometown lies the complex reality of television production, a system that places unique pressures on its hosts, especially someone like Ben, who is both on-camera talent and a hands-on craftsman. The criticism and challenges Ben faces illustrate the gap between perception and reality in renovation television. Renovation shows operate under constraints that rarely make it to screen. A typical Hometown episode films over approximately 7 to 10 days, but the actual renovation might take 4 to 12 weeks. This compression means that Ben often works extensive hours off-camera to ensure his custom pieces are ready for the scheduled reveal. According to production insiders, this has sometimes meant 16-hour days in the workshop, followed by early call times for filming, a schedule that would tax anyone, especially someone of Ben's size, doing physical labor in Mississippi's heat. Safety concerns present another reality rarely discussed. When Ben demonstrates techniques on massive woodworking machinery or heaves centuries-old structural beams into place, he's performing genuinely dangerous tasks. While HGTV requires appropriate safety measures, the physical toll remains significant. Former production assistants have noted that Ben often insists on doing the heaviest lifting himself rather than risking injury to crew members, a generous instinct that has reportedly contributed to his own physical strain. Critics have sometimes questioned the authenticity of the renovations, suggesting that television budgets must be supplemented or that the Napiers' involvement is superficial. The reality, according to homeowners who have appeared on the show, lies somewhere in between. While production does employ full construction crews, Ben's woodworking is genuine, and the design decisions do primarily come from the Napiers. However, the constraints of production schedules mean that some decisions must be made before homeowners are consulted, and compromises sometimes occur for television timing. Environmental and preservation activists have occasionally criticized aspects of the show's approach, particularly regarding material sourcing and waste management. Ben has reportedly been responsive to these concerns, increasingly emphasizing sustainable practices in both the show and his workshop operations. Perhaps the most persistent pressure comes from the fundamental tension between being an authentic craftsman and being television talent. The former requires methodical patience. The latter demands engaging energy and narrative efficiency. Balancing these competing demands, creating camera-ready moments while maintaining craftsmanship standards, represents an ongoing challenge that Ben navigates daily, one that viewers rarely see, but that shapes every aspect of his professional life. As of September 2025, Ben Napier has directly addressed many of the long-standing rumors that have followed him and the show. In a lengthy Instagram post that surprised even longtime fans with its candor, he confirmed several significant developments while dispelling other persistent speculations. Most notably, Ben has confirmed that his health journey included a serious wake-up call in 2022, likely referring to the incident that occurred during filming. While he stopped short of disclosing specific medical details, he acknowledged that doctors had warned him about the combined strain of his physical work, television schedule, and previous weight. Being a big guy who does big work on a demanding schedule wasn't sustainable, he wrote. I had to make changes that went beyond just losing weight. Those changes, according to recent interviews with People magazine, include a significantly modified production schedule for upcoming hometown seasons. Rather than filming continuously, the show will now reportedly shoot in defined blocks with mandatory rest periods, a concession from the network that Ben described as understanding what it takes to do this work right. Regarding the persistent rumors about leaving the show, Ben has definitively put those to rest. Laurel is our home, and hometown is our life's work, he stated in the same social media post. We're committed to this community and this show for as long as viewers want to join us on the journey. HGTV has reportedly renewed the program through 2027, suggesting strong network faith in the Napiers' continued appeal. Ben has also expanded his woodworking operation, Scotsman Co., into a teaching facility where he now offers masterclasses in traditional techniques, a development that allows him to share his craft knowledge while reducing the physical demands of producing every piece himself. According to local business publications, the workshop now employs 15 craftspeople from the Laurel area, creating economic ripple effects beyond what the television show directly generates. His public appearances have become more selective, with Ben reportedly focusing on events related to historic preservation and small-town revitalization rather than general celebrity appearances. This targeted approach aligns with what appears to be a broader life reassessment following his health challenges. As for the rumored tensions with the network, Ben addressed these directly in a recent interview. Like any long relationship, we've had our moments of figuring things out. But HGTV has been incredibly supportive of our vision and our need to find sustainable ways to keep creating. What continues to distinguish Ben Napier in the crowded landscape of home renovation television is not just his craftsmanship, but the emotional authenticity he brings to each project. Fans consistently cite specific moments that exemplify why his work resonates beyond typical before and after transformations. Many point to a Season 4 episode where Ben created a dining table from wood, salvaged from a homeowner's grandfather's barn. The scene where he presented the finished piece, explaining how he had oriented the grain to showcase where decades of family hands had worn the original board smooth, left both the homeowners and viewers in tears. It wasn't just furniture, it was legacy made tangible. He shows that objects can hold memories, wrote one fan in a widely shared social media post. In a world where everything is disposable, Ben treats things like they matter because of who touched them before. For viewers new to Hometown, longtime fans often recommend beginning with the third season's History in the Making episode, where Ben's restoration of century-old porch columns became a masterclass in both technical skill and storytelling. The care he demonstrated, painstakingly stripping decades of paint to reveal the original craftsmanship beneath, mirrors his broader approach to community revitalization, seeing the beauty beneath the weathered exterior. Parents frequently share how watching Ben has inspired younger generations to appreciate craftsmanship. Teachers have reported students requesting woodshop classes after seeing his work, while community colleges near Laurel have noted increased enrollment in traditional crafts programs. Perhaps most significantly, economic development professionals from small towns across America have cited the Napier effect. Communities inspired by Laurel's revitalization to invest in their historic downtowns rather than abandoning them for new development. This ripple effect extends Ben's impact far beyond the homes he personally renovates. He made working with your hands cool again, as one fan succinctly put it. But more importantly, he made caring about where you live seem like the most natural thing in the world. What Ben Napier has built extends far beyond the furniture that bears his maker's mark or the Ain't Homes featured on Hometown. His true legacy lies in the revival of a certain American ethos, the belief that places matter, that craftsmanship endures, and that renewal comes through respecting what came before while adapting it for present needs. Unlike many television personalities whose impact fades when ratings decline, Ben's influence has become embedded in tangible ways. In a revitalized Laurel downtown, in the restoration economy that has grown around similar small towns, and in a generation of new craftspeople inspired by his example. By merging traditional woodworking with contemporary media, he has helped preserve techniques that might otherwise have been lost to time and technology. The rumors that have occasionally clouded public perception about his health, his future, his authenticity ultimately reveal more about our cultural anxiety around craftsmanship than about Ben himself. In an era where celebrity often seems manufactured and skills appear superficial, his commitment to depth and substance initially struck some viewers as too good to be true. Yet time has validated both his expertise and his sincerity. Perhaps most significantly, Ben has demonstrated that television can serve community rather than simply extracting entertainment value from it. The economic impact studies of Laurel since Hometown began tell a story of sustainable growth rather than flash-in-the-pan tourism, a model that prioritizes local ownership and long-term viability over quick profits. The boy who once learned to respect wood grain in his grandfather's humid workshop has become a man who has helped reshape how Americans think about place, craft, and community. And just as those early pieces of lumber became heirlooms under skilled hands, the small Mississippi town that raised him has been transformed into something both new and timeless. A legacy built not just with tools, but with vision and heart. As Ben Napier continues his journey at 41, wiser about the demands of his craft, more open about his health, and ever committed to the community that shaped him, he remains a reminder that the most meaningful renovations often happen slowly, with patience and purpose. The rumors that once swirled around him have largely given way to a deeper appreciation for the authentic craftsmanship he brings to everything he touches. If you've followed Ben's work on Hometown, share a memory or lesson he's taught you about preservation, patience, or the value of hometown pride. Be kind in the comments, and if you want more thoughtful tributes like this, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.